Hershey history. Everyone has had their first kiss, but is it the kind of kiss that you were thinking about? In 1907, the Hershey Company began producing little flat-bottomed chocolates called the Hershey Kiss, which are one of my favorites right next to the original Hershey bar. Today we'll be exploring the life of Milton S. Hershey, the growth of the chocolate business, and how the chocolate is made. First, we will begin by exploring the life of Milton S. Hershey, the name behind the chocolate. He was born September 13th in 1857 to Veronica Snavely Hershey and Henry Hershey. Henry Hershey had his head in the clouds, always chasing after jobs. He was trying to find the right one, which he had not found yet. And due to this fact, Milton did not have a very good education. In 8 years of his childhood, he attended 7 different schools. On May 25th, 1898, in New York City, Milton married Catherine Sweeney. And if you look at the screen here, there's a picture of Milton and Catherine. A few years later, they found out that they could not have children. Instead, they decided to open a school for orphan boys. The school was called the Hershey Industrial School. Today, it is called the Milton Hershey School, and it is also open up to girls. Catherine passed away in 1915, and 30 years later, in 1945, Milton passed away. Now that we have covered the life of Milton S. Hershey, we will now move on to the growth of the business. The chocolate factory started out a bit shaky, but once it was successful, it kept growing. Milton opened his first candy business at the age of 18 in 1876 in Philadelphia, but after 6 years of business, it was closed down. He then moved to Colorado with his father, where he began working with a confectioner. This is when he learned the art of caramel making. His second try at a business was in New York City, but once again it failed. And his third try was successful. He opened up a caramel business in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. His business then started shipping all over the U.S. and Europe. In 1893, he attended the World's Columbian Exposition, where he learned the art of chocolate making. He used this to his advantage and began coating his caramels with chocolate. When the demand for chocolate increased, he decided to open the Hershey Chocolate Factory. And this is the Hershey Chocolate Factory. He did not have the milk chocolate recipe yet. The Swiss had kept it a secret, but he was determined he was going to find out what it was. So through trial and error, he then discovered it. In 1900, he decided to sell his caramel business. He sold for $1 million. Milton wanted his workers to be happy. He knew that happy workers were good workers, so he decided to make his company a town. He provided them parks, schools, churches, homes, swimming pools, and department stores. What other key factor attributed to the success of the chocolate factory? Well, it's the chocolate, the main ingredient. The chocolate begins at the cacao tree. And the tree produces melon-shaped fruit. The cacao tree's botanical name is Theobroma cacao, which means food of the gods in Greek. These seeds are then disassembled to get the beans out of them. The seeds are piled up for a week for fermentation. When the shells harden, the seeds darken in color, and the flavors flourish. They are then taken to the factory and stored by origin, where they are mixed together to make the flavor just right. They are then placed in large revolving roasters and de-shelled. Inside of the bean is called the nib. The nibs are milled and made into chocolate liquor, which, let me assure you, there is no alcohol involved. Then fresh milk is brought in from local farms where it is tested, pasteurized, and mixed with sugar to make a dry substance. Then combined with the chocolate liquor and dried into a chocolate crumb powder. The crumb powder is mixed with cocoa butter to make a smooth chocolate paste, which is then placed into rollers for up to 72 hours, which makes the chocolate smooth. And here's a photo of the chocolate rollers. Now the chocolate is ready to be made into products such as the Hershey chocolate bar. Now that we have finished exploring how the chocolate is made, we now know that the chocolate factory had many successes and failures before it opened up into the big business it is today. It began with chocolate-coated caramels and now has a variety of candies, such as Reese's Buttercups, Twizzlers, Hershey Syrups, Paydays, Whoppers, and Jolly Ranchers, and many more. Today we learned about the successes, failures, and the life of Milton S. Hershey. We also learned how the chocolate factory began and what makes it so special, and how the chocolate is made. Hershey, Pennsylvania is still up and running today, so you can take a visit if you would like to learn more. And here are my citations. Most of the information came from HersheyCompany.com. That's it. Thank you.